so every emotion has a purpose. The purpose of anger is to let someone or something know that we have a boundary. And so this is where a lot of people who suppress anger end up becoming people pleasers, which means they have no boundaries. And so they're constantly doing things for other people. They have no self-respect and self-worth. They'll always abandon themselves to help someone else. And that person just ends up normally with a heap of resentment built up in the system because they didn't know how to properly set a boundary when they were younger. The other end of that spectrum is the people who are then just keeping everyone at arm's length, and they're always ready to be completely destructively angry, yell at other people, make everyone else wrong. And that's like two ends of a spectrum. It's the same kind of core issue, is that they have so much pent up anger and not what we call integrated anger, that they have a response that shows up as either ends of that spectrum. To come back to the middle, we have to work out how to actually hold anger within our system. Because what happens, we have something called overcoupling. So when we have an issue with anger, normally we'll allow ourselves to be angry up until a point that it is deemed unsafe. And so if we're using a scale of 0 to 10, maybe it's 4. And so we start to get angry, but as soon as we get to a 4, just based on being abandoned as a child, our nervous system steps in and shuts it down. It stifles it, sort of just, no, not safe, get down there. So for a lot of clients, we have to have them in session experience their anger to more than a 4, to know that a 5 is safe. And that can take time. A 6, a 7, an 8 is safe. And then once they're able to feel anger, we're able to go back and start to process anger. And that might be at like, mum and dad for putting me in time out when I was a kid. All I wanted was to be seen, heard, and understood, and maybe held. And, but instead I was thrown in a room and the door was locked. So we have to go through then all of these experiences where anger was pushed down, let ourselves be angry at mum and dad without blaming as well. That's another little trap. We can't blame anyone else. And then over time, we'll feel more and more safer to experience anger within our body. And when we can hold, this is any emotional state, if we can hold an emotion without suppressing it or projecting it, so throwing it on someone else, then we're in a very, very powerful state. We become a container for our emotions, and then emotions are able to come up, move through us, and then, we can process and move through them. And anger is just one of the most beautiful emotions, because the feeling of anger without any story or blame of anyone, and I can feel it now if I tap into it, it's our power. Like that is our juice. So whenever I find someone, it's great. A lot of females that I work with who've got that people pleasing thing, they can start to integrate and work through it. And all of a sudden they can say no. They feel, and it's not no like yelling at people. It's just no. It's a no that just, you can feel it. It means something. And so we start to get our power back when we work with anger.